Gone. I think Simon Ramsey, your mic was going all the way through that quali period.
Brian, are you going to go live in this? Because I'm live in the stream here, but I've no way of moving this on.
Oh yeah, it should just go automatically now.
Yeah, no, quali is still doing
right,
the
yeah.
thing.
Just change it now. Yeah.
Grand.
Now.
So hello and
1
welcome
minute.
everyone to I'll just get this going here, right lads, talk to you in a bit. Just get this going back over here. Right. Yeah, so anyway, hello and welcome. Sorry for all the interruption there. This is something new we're doing in the VRA. So tonight's race is round 1 of the Radical Cup, as we're calling it. This championship, as it is being actually put together by members of VRA, which is kind of something different we're doing this time around. It's qualifying has just ended, and we'll go through that in a minute. But this is, if you like, a Pro-Am series, which is for members of Virtual Race Academy. Rules exist across the board as normal as in our pro racing as well, which we hold in iRacing. But in this cup, it is a little bit different in that you cannot be a previous winner of a VRA race to partake in this. So it's a kind of an initiative to, well, I suppose, get people involved who may or may not have had a chance previously to race with VRA, and members of the we're going to call it a driving club, I suppose, at this stage, have come together and put together this series. It's a Sean Clark modded Radical SR1, and we're 30 seconds to lights out. So this is this is death by demo. I'm meant to be actually racing tonight myself, but we've a full house here in VRA HQ up in Mondello. So I'm hoping this actually puts me into the pits, which it does, but we'll see now in a second if by magic I can get this all working. So as I said, no previous winners of a VRA race, but we're lights out as we head off and bringing me back to my old times, where I think we're on board here with Michael McCarthy into turn 1. We'll see if we can get the lead cars up in a second, but there's a few cars teleporting around, and it's Stephen Ramsey, very quick eye, came up here to Mondello, did a couple of races here with us as part of the academy, and he's really proven how the model works. Straight home with his new sim, plugged it all in, and has been absolutely flying. So he of course was on pole ahead of Kyle Stevens, who I think they matched like for like in terms of the pole position times, but they are followed by another newcomer, Pascal DeLucia. So Pascal, that is your top 3 as they qualified, and then within, I'm just looking across my shoulder here, it's of course Anthony Files is on sim number 3 here. He arrived in, going very well. You can see we haven't had somebody off there. I think it's Pascal DeLucia has fallen back down to 5th place. Now S4 is in fact sim number 4, and that's our very own Rob King. So let's ride on board Rob King for a minute and see how Rob is getting on. Unfortunately, we had one sim short for me. I was hoping to race in this series tonight, but Rob doing the honours for VRA. So this is all for a bit of fun. It's a 5-round championship. There's going to be 2 8-lap races in it, but when I say a bit of fun, these guys are going to be giving it everything as they come over to the start-finish line and down into Mobile 1. So let's stick with Rob here and see. I think it's Anthony in front of us. This is going to be a good race. So it's currently Stephen from Kyle, Anthony Field, and there's a big moment in the background. I think it is Peter Flaherty and Max Hart in that mix-up. So they'll be kicking each other. Sim number 5. Now this is an interesting one. This is John Ward. He's here in our sim rig, the actual motion one. For those of you who've been up to so John going very well. And that is throwing Max Hart all the way to the back. So, and as I say that, the commentator's I'm looking at him over my shoulder. John's I don't know if he got the help around. So, but let's go back to Rob. Rob is reeling in behind Anthony here, and I can see the two of them. They're literally face to face in the sim room here. So this is proper racing now. This is 2 guys in Mondello. They're coming down into 7A. 7B is a Tarzan is called. Rob with his high line through. Closing right up onto the back, and he's out across the grass. And is he lost it? He has. Which opens up Nathan Healy. So Nathan's going to come through. Is he going to be able to get Rob as they come into the S's? Not quite, but now let's stick with these two. This is a great bit of racing. So these are the Sean Clark SR1 mods. So for those of you who don't, there's a spinner out in front. That is Anthony. So as I was saying, these cars are very, very hard to get the tyres up to temperature, which is always a tricky thing in sim racing. And as I say that, out in front, it's Simon who's now under pressure from Kyle. So let's stick with these guys. We're both going purple laps and literally turn away out front. Let's ride on board with Kyle as they come down into, I don't know, it's got it's country, it's Collar, it's Duckham's, but very tight. It's very hard in the simulator to get that right. You don't really get the elevation. It's hard to see the apex. But now they're down into Bridgestone, and you can see fighting for grip already. So this is lap 3 of 8-lap race. We'll just see who's coming in behind, and that is Rob. So Rob King up to 3rd place. We'll never hear the end of this if Rob King gets a podium, but Rob, of course, an instructor here at Mondello, knows his way around, but he's got Nathan Healy and newcomer to the VRA team is Sean McGinley. So Sean in battles there, and just looking as Pascal makes the move on him and pulls away. So that is a very interesting race now. It's Brad O'Neill's. We're gonna have to pull Brad, I think, up to the tower after this one. Of course, Brad, a long time, could have been there from the very start. Brad with VRA, he's pulling in. He's probably heard me saying that. Brad, of course, a previous winner with VRA, so he's probably listening to the stream. But Brad's out there having a bit of fun. So back to Max Hart. Max struggling with the car. He's a regular again to VRA, so surprising to see Max as he gets a little bit defensive there, trying to hold off Jack Peters, and all the time Peter Flaherty out in front pulling him in. So we'll go back to our leaders. Lap 4, Simon Ramsayer isn't able to get any air between him and Kyle behind. So these two are really having a great battle at the moment. Simon just gets he's a pilot, I think, by trade. But as they run back down now into Bridgestone, we'll just see different lines through. Both of them are ding-dong on the timing, so it's a half-second still. So that's 4 laps in. It's Simon Ramsayer from Kyle Stevens. Our very own Rob King is in sim number 4. And then we have Nathan Healy from Pascal DeLucia from Ian Malone, another long-time VRA driver, and then our very own newcomer to the team. Indeed, he was over at Autosport with us, and we actually came across Sean at the Mondello shop in town, and a great guy, quick driver as well, very quick in kart. So this is his first sim race with us, currently doing himself proud in 7th place, while Michael McCarthy all the time is trying to reel him in. Quick drive as well, in through 7A, 7B, gets the exit right. Max Hart will be kicking himself after that turn 1 incident through Mobile 1, but Max, another VRA regular. Great to see Peter Flaherty back racing with us. A bit of an Assetto Corsa, which is this simulator, but an Assetto Corsa expert, I'd say. A specialist, if anything. John Ward, just outside the top 10. But I can see John here, and that is Nathan Healy going PB. Damien McMullen, shocked to see Damien McMullen in this race. I would have thought Damien McMullen had a win underneath his belt, but obviously not. And then Jack Peters rounding out the top 15. Brad O'Neill's has decided to pull it over into pit. So Max Hart putting in a PB 139.05, but we're back with our leaders. It's Simon from Kyle. These guys are just absolutely neck and neck, so they're still keeping it. Simon just keeping that half-second gap between them, but there's really nothing in it. And at this stage, the tyres will start suffering on the back of these radicals, and they really are unforgiving. There's very little turning on them, and once you get the power down, if you get it wrong, they just spin around, pirouette on you. So in through Bahrain bends, yes, as I like to call them. into Devaney's. Hard corner to get right. Get that I'll get it right. Get the exit right, and then through paddock, hitting the curb. You can just see Simon's after pulling out a little bit. He's quicker through there, and then down through south side. I'm just seeing there's Ronan in this race. You never know. You always might see Ronan Hederman just tearing up the inside there for absolutely no reason. Of course, his nickname is Southside after that epic unlapping of himself in our first ever VRA Championship. So if you're listening, Ronan, I'm sure you're getting a good laugh out of that. We're into lap 6. Rob King 17 seconds back, but he's been clawed in as he is by Nathan Healy, so we'll keep an eye on that as well. 1:38.2 for Rob, 1:38.7 for Nathan. And of course, this is, for those of you who are wondering about the whole VRA Digital Motorsport thing, it's a simple enough equation. And the Virtual Race Academy, of course, is our sim center here in Mondello, while Digital-Motorsport.com is now our online website where we can sell and set up solutions for simulation. But we've separated it out as well in terms of our racing. So Virtual Race Academy is now a pro-am. It's for people who are getting into sim racing, want to get out, have a bit of competitive racing. But our Pro Series, which we run on iRacing, and it's currently run the F3 Championship, is for seriously competitive sim racers, and as we're calling them now, digital drivers. So there'll be more news coming on that as that series progresses. We're getting more and more sponsors on board, and the prizes and the awards for the drivers are getting better nearly every race. And as I was saying that, I was just getting an email in here on another screen, but we're getting a lot of praise for how we're running our digital championships in Ireland at the moment, and that's from across Europe, and we're getting attention. Of course, we had some big names joining us on the grid for the F3 Championship. But back to our VRA Pro-Am, and it is still Simon Ramsay. He's really been impressive. He's been up here for a few nights, kind of got his eye in, got the feel for it, and decided to pull the trigger on a very tasty sim package, and has never really looked back as he just extends that lead out another 2/10 over Kyle. Kyle Stevens again, super sim racer, probably in the set of course specialist as well, but they are really shown up, as we were saying, just to give you an idea. And it's no reflection to Rob King, who's very fast around here, but they've a 20-second gap after 7 laps back to Rob, who's no slouch, and he's holding off Nathan Healy here as well, while all the time Ian Malone falling a little bit back, as is now Pascal De Lucia. So those tyres obviously suffering, and as I say that, John Ward puts in a PB. Let's just ride on board with John. John just seems to be able to jump into any sim around here and be able to just make it work, but struggling a little bit. He did have that spin earlier on in the race. He's got Damien McMullen up ahead, a committed and very experienced sim racer with VRA. I've had great races with Damien. I'm a huge fan of him. He always turns up, gives it his best, but now he's being put under pressure. John sends it up the inside. Damien, ever the gentleman racer, gives him room, but just enough so they're door to door as they come down into, I was going to say, but I'm going to call it Lola this time around. But of course, so many different corners and names. I was talking to people during the week about this. It's nearly every time we go racing around Mondello, there's a new name for corners. So down into 7A, 7B, or Tarzan as it's called. And you see the front of these cars. So the main difference between kind of a Assetto Corsa, which is this simulator we're using, and what we use in our Pro Series iRacing is of course the damage models. A lot more realistic in iRacing. You can pick up damage just by hitting the curbs too hard, or bits of cars actually come off, bits of carbon can cause damage into the car as well. So a lot more fragile in iRacing. But Assetto Corsa, a lot of people still argue has the better physics. Certainly the drifters and a lot of the rallycross people would agree with that. But as we're into our final lap, let's stick with our leaders. Simon Ramsay, he really has lit this up from pole. He's now extended that lead out to 7/10, and Kyle really doesn't have an answer for him at this stage. Rob King falling back 24 seconds, but he'd be more than delighted to bring home a podium at this stage. Nathan Healy unable to answer anything to Rob's thrown up at him. Really, is just as I was saying, that it is Simon who's taking the win, so we're a little bit behind, and it's Kyle Stevens in second place. Rob King will bring it home third. That is really a testament to our academy here, because Simon, of course, came up here good few nights during last year, and has taken that maiden victory in his first online race. So he'll be delighted with that dominant display from Kyle. It's saying Nathan Healy's taking third, but it is Rob. We'll give it to him. Ian Malone in 5th position, and then Pascal. Good recovery, actually. Impressive drive. Michael McCarthy takes over the line in 7th place from Max Hart, who recovers to 8th. So good drive again from Max. And then Peter Flaherty. And I'm looking at Sean McGinley here. He's pulling it in. You get a slap on the wrist for that. Sean, bring it around to the paddock. Only messing you. So that is the end of race 1. Now we've a reverse grid for 8-lap race. So we've a 46-second countdown. Everyone here in VRA is looking over at me, wondering what's going on. It is a 40-second countdown. No. And I'm actually gutted I didn't get to get out and race in this. I would have fancied myself in that first race. So Sean already out of the sim. So I'm just waiting now to see the reverse grid. But there you have your sector times. Simon Ramsay, sector 2, sector 3, best lap 1:35. But look at that. Kyle Stevens quicker, just slightly quicker, but almost match like for like in the first sectors with a 30 dead. So we're just 1 minute now as we grid up onto our race 2. So I'm just trying to see, did it actually, it's not a reverse grid, so controversial. Yeah, Rob was just shouting out. We've covered that off, Rob. You're okay. You did get third. Yeah, he's delighted with himself here. It's only taken a year, Rob, but well done. So 30-second countdown. I will jump back on board. So my job as the TV car is always safety cars is to get this off the grid. And what I have to do, for those of you who wonder how we do this, is I rev it up, put it in gear, and I give myself a penalty and get fired into the pits. So that's how we have to do this, and this was back in the good old days. So let's hopefully that happens again, otherwise I get very angry poo, and that's worked. So control 1, back to the start, F3, here we go. So we're gonna ride on board here with Anthony Fields, so why not? And as soon as I say that, I get a big here, and he spun around. So that is disaster in turn 1. All types of and it's Simon again who's got away out in front, so he's leading them off again. He'd be delighted with himself that there wasn't a reverse grid in this. That'll be 2 for 2 if he can hang on to this. So as it stands is how we left the last race, which a little bit disappointed. Usually the servers are set up to give a reverse grid for the top 10, but it hasn't this time. Again with iRacing, it's a bit of a more pro setup, and you get a lot more control over it. But a set of course it is very close to my heart, and for those of you who don't know, the actual Mondello track that they're racing on at the moment is something that I worked on and modded for a long time. So it is available on the VRA.ie or Digital-Motorsports.com website, and we were actually giving away a code. So if you use Radicals on the website, you can download the track for free. And we should just as a side note, to let you know, we have some night racing coming as well very soon to Mondello, and we have the loop, and we're working on a rallycross section of the track. So it is, as we left the last race, it's Simon Ramsay from Kyle Stevens, and S4 behind in the red Radical is Rob King. Now can Rob, and he's looking at me here as I'm about to say, but can he reel them in? He's already back 2 seconds, so maybe Rob's just happy to manage those tyres. But all the time, Ian Malone will be firing it in for the back. So let's ride on board here with Ian Malone. Down into Mobile 1, turn 1. First gear, 60 kilometers. No, he shouldn't be lifting through turn 2. He doesn't. Up through into 4th to 100 miles an hour, up into 5th. Down into through country, down into 2nd, through collar. Aiming for the trees straight ahead. So Rob extending that lead out over Ian, but he's run wide on here. So Ian with the tighter line. Let's see if he can get the power on early. Rob taking those classic instructors lines, getting it out wide, getting on the power early. As I'm saying that, I'm looking at this group, so let's just see. This is Jack Peters. We didn't see him much of him in the first race. He had it spun around, but I'm just wondering, this should be an interesting race because we've got Max Hart now. Let's stick with these guys. So this is Max Hart reeling in Sean McGinley, and let's see if he can, because right behind that gaggle they've got John Ward as well. So this is going to be a great race. So I'm keeping an eye on out in front, but it is, as we left the last race, it's Simon from Kyle, from Rob King. So let's ride on board with Max here and just see, can he line him up through the Bahrain bends? He can. I think he is. There is serious contact. The same as doing that, I'm sure. Max out across the track. That is Sean to the back of the grid. So Carter by trade, but he's been pushed to the back here by all of the grid. So we'll go back to the front, and it is how we left it. Kyle Stevens, he just cannot get under the back wing of Simon. So 3 laps in, and it was about lap 4 where we started seeing them getting close, and it's the same this time around. So let's ride on board as Rob King. As he spawned, he has. Rob King's out. I'll stick the kettle on Rob. Actually, let's stick with Rob a little bit more as he tries to reverse it backwards and forward just to rub the salt into that wound. So that is Rob all the way down, and into that is Jack Peters through as well. So that's going to put a sting in it for Rob. But back to our leaders, and Kyle this time a little bit closer. So we're just watch him as he comes through the S's. Back on board. Just wondering, is it the aero in the cars or something that makes him wash out in the front? But he can't seem to get that run on Simon. Blisteringly quick through paddock as well. Or as I was told during the week, Irish Ferries. But anyway, through south side to go. Kyle just getting a little bit taily coming out, so that gives almost a half second to Simon, and all the time in behind Ian Malone now. Nobody in front, nobody behind, so he's in clean air. Peter Flaherty with his best lap. I think that's the best lap of the 2 races, 38.7. So let's have a look now. Michael McCarthy's fallen to the back as well. So obviously himself and Max had some comings together, which is promoted Sean McGinley, who will take nothing but serious abuse off me at the end of this. As we have another spinner. Who's that? As I was saying, that's Jack Peters gone back down. So definitely our top 2 are showing what these radicals can do. Of course, at the end of this championship, top 3 drivers will be invited to, I'm just been told maybe top 5. We'll check that into the Pro Series, which is still to be announced, but that won't be until the end of the iRacing F3 Championship. So I'm being told the stream is a little bit jumpy. Sorry about that. We've had nothing but plagued issues, and hopefully we'll get it figured out for next week with internet and broadband here, but very little we can do about that at the moment. So as we halfway point, it's Simon Ramsayer from Kyle Stevens, exactly as we left it in the last race. It's almost like for like in terms of lap times as well. And let's just ride on board with Kyle. Max Hart's disconnected. He's obviously had enough with car damage. I've heard nothing but shouting from Rob King, so obviously something going on there. That is John Ward up the inside of. He is. He's got Pascal De Lucia, and that is Rob in the background as well. So we obviously missed out on a bit of action there. Let's go back to our leaders. I'm actually surprised that they're just running so close. I'm wondering, is it aero that's just causing the front of that car to wash out in Kyle? Because it does look like it every time he gets close. And now we will see as he gets to run through 7A. So he got the run on him through Daly's Drift, but he just seems to not get on the power as quick as Simon. Simon goes defensive now into the S's, so we'll see if Kyle can get the run. He's trying it on the inside, so he's forcing Simon to go defensive, but it just seems to be when he gets the nose under the back wing of Simon's car, the front just washes out. So my guess is that it is aero indeed. Just looking back down to it, Anthony Files in. Has he got the run on Rob? Sorry, that's Damon McMullen. He has. So that's Anthony up to 6th place. And we'll see if Damon come back at him. I don't think he is, but I'm looking at Rob King, and I'm wondering, was there a little nudge on John? Was there, John? He's saying nothing. He has a head down, and I'll say that Peter Flaherty's just done his best lap at 1:37.7, 1:37.5. Sorry. So Simon commanding these two races. That is a dominant display, actually, I have to say. It was meant to be a reverse grid. It wasn't. The server didn't switch it over. That's nothing got to do with these drivers, but he has just been consistently banging in the same laps in this car. So impressive enough, and hopefully he can hold on to that throughout this cup, and we see him in the Pro Series for the next round, the iRacing Championships. So it's Simon Ramsayer from Kyle Stevens, from E. Malone, who is 12 seconds back down the road from Peter Flaherty. And then we have Nathan Healy going very well. Then in 6th place, 3 seconds behind, is Anthony Files, with Damien McMullen 1 second behind. Then we got the group of Pascal De Lucia from Rob King and John Ward. Then we've got Michael McCarthy, and this gaggle that's going on here, just looking at it, it's Jack Peters and our own Sean McGinley is out there. So I'm just going back to this group. So at the moment, that is Michael McCarthy with John Ward in front of him. I said that Ian Malone has done his best lap of 1:37.6. Let's just stick with this. Something's happened out in front, so Kyle has dropped a good bit back now. So he was within 4/10, but he's dropped it back down to nearly just under a second. Keeping Simon in sight. He's only one lap to do it. Let's just ride on board and see. He's actually dropping back a little bit. So the drivers were saying all week that the tyres were going off very, very quickly in these cars. Very hard to keep the temperature in the rear tyres as well. Keep them within the zone, as simulators, they tend to over dramatize if the tyres are too cold or if they're overheated, which usually ends up with the car pit or wedding spinning around. The tyre models in the iRacing series are far more advanced, I would say, now at this stage than in Assetto Corsa, but I was driving these cars earlier on today. They're tricky enough, you know, in through Southside as we take it down onto the white flag lap underneath the Mondello Bridge, a VRA sign on it there, but of course BMW across it at the moment. He's not going to try from back there, as he just shown on the mirrors, so he has it within 3/10, but now it's just really down to Simon to hold that. So we'll just pop back here for a second, because I think we've had a change. I think we have. So this, interestingly enough, is 9th place, and Rob King has made his way back up to 8th. Anthony Files with Nathan Healy. So that's Anthony up in the 5th place, so he's doing well. So leader on to the final lap. Let's have a look. They're close now, so let's go back on board. Come up over to, oh, this is the closest they've been, so let's stick with it. Simon goes defensive on the inside now. Can he get the cutback? Can't. Defensive line. That's actually great. Great defensive lines there from Simon. So let's see. He has him on the ropes, but it looks like Simon can keep a cool head here and just... He's going to try cutback and the run up in the paddock. He'd be very brave to make this move. So it's all going to come down to the south side. So he just got to get the run on him here. Keep the foot in. Now he's lifted out. He backed out of that one, but that is a cool head from Simon Ramsayer again, as we just ride on board with him over the line. Someone yelling here in the background. But that is a dominant 2-race win for Simon Ramsayer. 2nd place, Kyle Stevens. Great display from those two. Ian Malone takes it home in 3rd position from Peter Flaherty, who will, I would say, bring it home in 4th place. 5th place here in VRA is Anthony Files. From 6th place, Nathan Healy. From our very own Damien McMullen. And here, let's stick with these guys, because this is going to be a dive, I'd say, from Pascal. He's going to try it. Damien goes defensive. And Pascal just gets the, as I was saying, these cars, if you get the power down even the slightest bit too early, it'll just snap around you like that. And here we have John Ward with a gaggle of cars behind him. So he's got Michael McCarty and Jacques Peters is in that gaggle. So that is rounding out. And then all we can say about Sean is, I don't know, that was well, we've got Rob here now. That was a little bit brutal. Is that the word you were saying? Yeah. Yeah, I'd go with that, Rob.
That was great.
Did you enjoy that?
Yeah, it was brilliant. Apart from the end where I ended up upside down.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard you. But we're live on the internet here. So, your first podium, Rob.
Yeah.
Jeez, that's a big cheesy grin he got on there. Delighted with life. Look at this.
It's amazing how much the adrenaline gets going.
Really?
Yeah, like just like the real thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, genuinely. Surprised me. It's a long time. It's probably 12 months since I've done a race.
Yeah.
Probably. I think the last race I did was the Le Mans 2.4 hours.
Oh, we don't talk about that anymore,
That
do
was
we?
a lot. And yeah, it's exciting.
That's something we should do again, actually.
Yeah.
Who took me out of it in the first lap?
I would just send an incident in. Look at that rookie.
Wrote it to myself.
Yeah.
Is there another race? Oh, no.
No, that's
okay.
the end of that.
That was
But
nice. Who won? Did Simon win?
he blew everyone away. But it didn't exactly blow everyone away. Sorry, that's a bit disingenuous to Kyle Stevens. Kyle was like keeping within half second of him for the first two races, but they were ding dong the whole way around. But he just seemed to be, whenever he got up close underneath the back wing, the front of the car would just wash out. But really impressed, because like Simon's been up here a few times and just kind of quietly just chipped away at kind of crafting that whole sim racing career he's building out. But now he's back
He's
to back.
seriously quick, yeah, and
Yeah.
he's
Consistent as well.
yeah, and the gear he's using, he hasn't got the best of the best stuff. He's using CSL Elites and stuff like that, which is great, good benchmark stuff. But he's not there on tens of thousands of
Hoosingveld Ultimates.
yeah. So he's flying.
Yeah. Well, there's a top tip for you. Come up here and we'll set you up at the right gear. Because you did do well. But I suppose rather than go on with more nonsense than that, it's a sign off here. I think we're going to have one more race. I'm going to go up against you, Sean.
Happy days.
Yeah.
Don't take me out.
So that's it. Next round in 2 weeks' time. Next Wednesday is the iRacing F3 Championship. So definitely join us for that. There could be some more big names join us in that one, and of course big prizes and everything. So that's becoming a very serious event for us.
Yeah, round 3 of that. Wait, what track is that now? Can you remember off the top of your head? I can't remember. But some great prizes up for grabs in that. So we have we've got a trophy for first place. We've got pedals to give away. We've got a set of V3s, set of CSL Elites, and then of course there is the BMR €100 award for the Driver of the Day award. Gets awarded for every round as well.
Yeah, you've put me right in the spot. I can't remember, but the next round is, I'm gonna say Interlagos. It is Interlagos, so February 12th. Yeah. So join us for that. That's going to be a great track. I love Interlaken, especially in open wheel racing, because it always lends. That turn one is just always exciting. So join us in exactly a week's time, same bat channel. We'll sign off with that. Okay, it's been a bit of fun, as you said. Registration is still open. 15 drivers there tonight. We've grids of up to 2022. So
if you do want to get involved in this, we have spaces available here in Mondello Park. We've 5-6 sims up and running. You can come along. Practice starts at 6:30, 7 o'clock. It's €50 for the evening, from 6:30 till 9 o'clock, 9:30, whatever time it is now, and it is great fun.
Yeah, so there you are. We'll sign off and we'll see you in a week's time. Hopefully you have Jack back as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
good.
Come
Okay.
back, Jack.
Come back, Jack.
And Leo.
And Leo.